Hello, 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 hello. I am adjusting a few things here. Instagram. Well, look who's here. Some old friends. Perfect timing for Mercury retrograde. The reconnect. Good to see you two. Welcome. We have some people popping in on YouTube. I have both YouTube and Instagram going. So welcome in. Alice, Real Luke, hello. Doug and Carrie, of course. Welcome, welcome. And then on YouTube, Geminis. We love Geminis. YouTube, if you're here on YouTube, I only know you're here if you pop in on the chat. We've got snowy Indiana showing up here. Welcome, welcome. So, yes, look at today, the last day of January. Carolyn, good afternoon. Can you even believe the last day of January? So this reading that we're going to get started with, I am using the power of surrender. And the reason I'm going to use the power of surrender is that yesterday, Mercury went retrograde, stationed retrograde. And you know, what we say about Mercury retrograde is it's a great time to do all the words, reconnect, revisit, review, redecorate, retreat, recuperate, repaint. And so I thought the power of surrender would be good, because in surrendering, we're sort of reviewing and thinking about that and looking back at some things and what is it that we can move out, right? So that we can keep bringing in new. Remember that your closet at home only fits so many things, right? And each time you bring something else in, you need to get rid of something or there's no room. Well, our whole being is that same way, whether it's what happens in our brain or, you know, in our energetic center, in our heart. You know, we have to, our evolution is based on movement, right? And we have to move things out as we move forward, right? So let's get started for messages for the week. I'm going to have a sip of water here. And these are general messages. So you take the messages as they pertain to you. And then Carter Mosier group, welcome. And then I will pull cards for anyone who has a question, or if anyone would just like a card for general guidance. So if you would hold your questions or your requests until after the general reading, that way I don't miss them in the scroll of the chats. All right. So I hope everyone is having a good week or good weekend, setting up for the week coming. Hope everyone is doing well, and thank you for everyone who's here. Let's get started. So let's get some cards for this week. I am going to pull a card for Monday and Tuesday. Those would not be the cards for Monday and Tuesday. Monday and Tuesday, a card for Wednesday and Thursday, which was this one. And then a card for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Uh-oh, it's a doozy. Okay, so remember, folks who are on YouTube, when it gets to the point of putting in your question, you do have to be logged into the chat in order to be able to chat. Okay, let's get started. Monday, Tuesday. And if you weren't here at the beginning, I have Instagram going here and I have YouTube going here. So I'm going between the two. Monday, Tuesday, our message, surrender to miracles. Be open to miracles occurring in your life. Feel and know that these events are real. Let go of any resistance and banish any doubt that miracles can happen. So here you go, Instagram. Instagram, you know you see things backwards. Here you go, YouTube. So Monday, Tuesday, surrender to miracles. When things come up at the beginning of the week, you know, maybe something comes out of the blue. Maybe you're presented with an opportunity that for some reason you're thinking, well, that can't possibly be. That doesn't, Keep open to that and look at things. I would say look at things in a more expansive view. So if you are accustomed to seeing a particular person a particular way, or a particular situation, or themes that may occur, if your process is always this, the beginning of the week, let go of being so fixed and locked in and surrender to the miracle that can come if we just let things be. So instead of looking to control situations or looking to put things through a very particular filter that we have that's already predetermined, so anything that goes through there is going to come out with a certain result because we've already calibrated that, right? Let that go and see what appears otherwise. Wednesday, Thursday, surrender your attachment to results. It's a little bit right after this Monday, Tuesday thing. Do you see that? The formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen. Then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it. So it's exactly what I was just saying about surrender to miracles. And that is, keep doing that this week. So do not impose your expectations upon things, anything that is coming. This week is saying we cannot be doing that. We need to be open. What we need, the information that we are needing, the opportunities that we're needing, the encounters that are going to help us are needing the space to happen organically and not be sifted through our processing filter, right? Hola, Carolina. So really important. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay. All kinds of things going on here. In Argentina, there is these storms that come through, and they are coming through right now, and there's a lot of flooding and a lot of rain. So Carolina, this picture of surrender to silence made me think of the photo that we just saw on in Tigre. Okay, coming back to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Surrender denial and surrender to silence. So let's talk about surrender denial. Surrender denial, accept people and situations exactly as they are, without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decision. First and foremost. So accept things as they are. Again, not putting things through your predetermined, perfectly crafted, well-exercised filter. Accept it as it is, because it says then you can see things clearly and make the best decision. And what I was saying at the beginning of the week is that something is coming in. There's, whether it be an opportunity or a person or a message, something is coming in, and we cannot block it with our I keep saying filter, that's the word I'll continue to use. We cannot block it with our filter because we need to be able to see it clearly. We need to be able to see what it really is so we can understand what to do with it and how it has come in to help us. Okay? Surrender to silence. In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. Carolina, this was the card made me think of Tigre. So also we talked about being in Mercury retrograde, that it's our time. It's our time to retreat, rethink, reconsider, review. So make sure you give yourself that time. Surrender to silence. Make sure that you step back. Make sure that you set boundaries. This was a conversation I was having recently about setting boundaries, that sometimes you just need your space. And so it's okay to say that and claim that space. That's really important. And because we are in this Mercury retrograde period, it is important for us to be, Mercury retrograde is about going into the unconscious. And so it is important for us to be spending time in there. So we have to be able to do that. So beginning of the week, surrender to miracles, be open. If you catch yourself anticipating something, catch it and step back and allow it. Surrender your attachment to results, middle of the week. As things are coming, do not try to anticipate what you want from it and want it to go a certain way. We have to let that go. Accept it as it is, not as the way you perceive it to be or the way you want it to be, right? Accept it as it is. And then what are you going to do? Sit with it. Understand it. Why did it show up for you? What is it asking of you? What is it offering you? So those are the cards for this week. Nice way to start February. I will say this, if you are not subscribed to my newsletter, Drops of Goodness, the February edition is coming out, and I am including a link to a wonderful conversation about Mercury retrograde that explains not only what it is in terms of, just what happens in physics, but what happens in astronomy, and then what happens in astrology, and then how that trickles down to us. So, and there's a few myth busters in there, or at least explaining where the myths may have come from. So it's it's pretty short. I think it's, 15 minutes or 20 minutes or something, but I'm going to put that in my newsletter so you can check it out, because we are just entering Mercury retrograde. We're in here for 3 weeks, and then we have the post shadow. Just help you understand it a little bit. Okay, so we are to the point of, hola Cecilia, we are to the point of, you're welcome for the newsletters. Thank you for being a subscriber. To the point of pulling cards for questions. So if anybody has a question, you can have a specific question, you can put it in the text. If you're on Instagram and you are uncomfortable with people seeing your question, you can put it in the Q&A, but tell me that you don't want me to say your name, because otherwise I just do. And then on YouTube, you can put it in the chat. Of course, everybody sees your question, but we're all here together, and we're here in a very supportive way, right? We all came in here with love in our hearts and compassion for one another. So if you've got, and if you don't have a specific question, but you just feel like, you know what, I would like a card, then just put that in the chat. You don't even have to type, you know what, you can just type, I would like a card. Okay, so Kathy has a question. May I have a general guidance card for the week? A general guidance card for the week. I'm going with Inner Glow for you. A card for Kathy. General guidance card for the week for Kathy. The general guidance card for the week for Kathy. Ooh, this is intense. oxygen mask. Oxygen mask. Kathy, this looks like one of your paintings. So if anybody doesn't know, Kathy is a phenomenal artist. I find her to be a phenomenal artist. But it reminds me of a painting I saw of yours recently. So oxygen mask. When do we put on an oxygen mask? When we need help, when we can't manage on our own, right? We need supplemental oxygen. We need that infusion. We also put it on before we help others. We have to take care of ourselves, right? We cannot be of service to others if we are depleted of oxygen. What feeds you? What is your oxygen, right? What's there for you to inhale and integrate, get into all of your blood cells? What is that? What is that oxygen? So maybe this is saying for this week, first of all, make sure you are taking care of yourself and setting good boundaries before you help others. I think that's pretty clear. But also, what else do you need? Like what other, oxygen is another supplemental source, right? So it's outside of yourself that you're asking to come in. So what else do you need to be bringing in? What else comes in and is going to invigorate your blood cells? Check that out. Okay, then we have Carolyn, and then we have Alice. So Carolyn, I also love the newsletter. Can I get a general guidance for the week? Thank you very much. I'm glad you're enjoying the newsletter. And yes, a general guidance for the week for Carolyn. Carolyn, I think we're going to Oracle of the Fairies. So if we can get a general guidance card for Carolyn for this week. I think that is it. And that is the one. Whoopsie. Kathy, this is the push I needed to restart my my running program. Thank you. Yeah. So running, what are you going to do? You're going to increase the oxygen. Nice. And if we haven't been running for a while, we may feel like we need an oxygen mask. Okay, Carolyn, your card is Flourish. The lotus flower fairy tells you to learn from experience and shed your inner light on any unclear areas of your life or those of others. Trying to give you a knot. Ooh, that's better, huh? Here's Instagram, here's Flourish. So general card. Learn from experience and shed your inner light on any unclear areas of your life or those of others. So again, going back to the rewords of Mercury retrograde, right? Reviewing all of that, looking back, reconsidering, so that you can find the clarity, so that you can see what it is you're missing. We also have, when we surrender denial here, this card is, you can see things clearly and make the best decisions. And that best decision is flourishing. So I think following that guidance of this week, Carolyn, is a good thing. And shining your light on that area, taking a look at things, really taking a look at them. It says, or of those of others. So you may be called to help somebody else. You may be that light that someone else needs too. But follow this guidance of the week so that you can see things more clear. And then you can go in the direction you need to go. You can take the action or say the words that need to be said, because you will be coming from it from a more clear place than perhaps at the beginning of the week. So follow that guidance. Okay, Alice, All the re's, yes. So Alice, thank you so much. Messages were amazing. Trust and release, pretty powerful change. May I have a card on silencing the ego? Well, surrender to silence. There's one of them. Let's see, what else can we get you for silencing the ego? I guess what I'm going to say about silencing the ego, that's going to be really hard to do, right? It's really hard to do. We are here in a human life form, and the ego is how we get by day to day. It's how we decide how to order lunch, or, you know, how to sit and participate in a work meeting. Like the ego is sort of what we need to get by every day. So maybe, just because I think words really matter, maybe we relanguage it, and instead of saying silencing the ego, maybe we say, you know, something more along the lines of quieting the ego, or giving my ego a rest so that my intuition can be heard, so that my intuition and my heart can be expressed. Maybe I can put my ego at rest. So maybe think about that, because I think to silence the ego is going to be an enormous task, and it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of training. So maybe we're not going to get there this week. So what can we do this week that can be helpful? Maybe we can just have our ego be at rest. Okay, so let's get a card here for Alice and ego. I'm using Sacred Destiny here. So if we can have a card for Alice and a message about her ego. Card for Alice. A message about her ego. Okay. I'm going over here to Whispers of the Ocean. Yes, Carolina, I will pull a card for you. Let's have a card here for Alice for the ego. Right here. Okay. Carolyn, you are welcome. And thank you for coming on Sundays. Okay, Alice. Blend into the environment. You have many skills and can fit into any situation. Take time to assess what is going on around you and adapt accordingly. So, it's a beautiful card. Check that out, huh? How colorful. It's beautifully colorful, YouTube. So in terms of the ego, blend into the environment. You have skills, you can fit in, take time to assess and adapt accordingly. So that is asking the ego to be at rest when you need to activate that intuition, when you feel like you are being a little bit disconnected from your heart center. Adapt by asking the ego to take a rest, right? So that you can be more in touch with that heart message. You can hear more of your inner voice. That's adapting, because you can activate that ego and jump into anything else you need to be doing because you're capable and you've got the skill set. We don't need to worry about that, right? So let's just adapt. What do we need to do? Also, it's number 36. So 3 and 6 is 9. That is the Hermit. So a couple of things about the Hermit. You know, the Hermit is the teacher, and the Hermit also goes out and gets information and integrates it. So the Hermit leads by inner light, right? The Hermit stands at the top of a mountain with a lantern, holding it for those who are journeying up the mountain still. So going into that space, quieting the ego, and calling up that inner voice. And adapt accordingly. Okay, so Carolina had a card for guidance for the first week in February. So Carolina, Carabo KB, hello. I will get a card for you right after this one. You would be next. So Carolina, would you like Archangel Gabriel or would you like Oracle of the Unicorns? I feel like I need to give you a choice. Archangel Gabriel or Oracle of the Unicorns? For Carolina. All right. So I've made the decision and I'm using Archangel Gabriel. So we can have a card here. Hello, Rare by Nature, welcome. If we can have a card here for Carolina. Gabriel, that's who I have in my hands. A card here for Carolina. For the week, this first week of February. Okay, we have vision board. Create a board with images and words that inspire you. That is your card. Instagram, you know you see cards backwards. This is the card, YouTube. So Carolina, for this first week of February, I think maybe setting in to the new month, creating a vision board. So whether you actually make a vision board or you think through a vision board, but maybe sitting and consciously connecting and recognizing and acknowledging images and words that inspire you. So what is it that you want to move into February with? What energy do you really want to work with in this February? And so creating a vision board is a way to do that very purposefully, right? We're still surrendering to miracles. We're not putting a thing on the vision board and saying, I can only have that, right? We're saying, this is what inspires me. This is what I am open to. How it happens, which is how we surrender to the attachment to result. How it happens, I'm just going to let this miracle happen, right? But I'm going to put out there, what really do I want to bring in? Sort of like that oxygen mask for Kathy, right? What do I want? What do I need to infuse me? And then so I can flourish, right? Like we had for Carolyn. Nice. So maybe consciously getting in touch with what it is that lights your spark. Okay. Carabo KB, can I have a general reading for February? Yes, yes, and yes. I'm going to Oracle of the Unicorns there. Okay, this is a card for Carabo KB for general reading. General card for February. Okay. General card for Caribou. Nature. Ground yourself. Find a sanctuary in nature. Connect with the elements. My goodness, I love the artwork on this card deck. It's very glossy, so there's a little reflection here. Let me see, right there. Can you see it better? Look at that unicorn, all like in as one in nature, almost cannot distinguish between the two. Look at that. So ground yourself, find a sanctuary in nature, connect with the elements. So for February, and if you missed the beginning part of the reading, we were talking about Mercury retrograde. We were talking about reviewing and going within. You know, when a planet is retrograde, it is asking us to go back within, right? And so to do that, you've got to do that from a grounded space, because there's stuff to look at. There's stuff to get in touch with. There's stuff to learn. And so you need to be grounded in order to do that work. Otherwise, you're going to miss the opportunity, or you might get a little freaked out by something in your unconscious, right? Or you just can't really get to it. So ground yourself this month. If you're feeling like things are sort of flying by you a little too quickly, or, you know, you're not sure of how, I got to do this, right? Just too much. There's too much happening. Ground. And one of the places that we ground is by going in nature. And remember that in order to go to nature, we don't have to go to the Grand Canyon, for example, although if it's out your back door, go. But you can just touch a tree outside your house, right? You can find some dirt and put your toes in the dirt, or your hand, but just connect to nature. Find an animal and connect to animal spirit, animal energy, and do some calming work that will just help you navigate through February. Bare feet in the grass. Yes, bare feet in water if you're not in a super cold place. Bare feet in the dirt, let your fingers get dirty. And if you're afraid of your fingernails getting dirty, I keep mine short. But a trick I learned is scrape your fingernails over some soap so the soap goes under your nails, and then go play in the dirt. And then when you wash your hand, the soap comes out and your nails are clean. Who knew you were going to get a gardening tip today? Okay, Carolina, you are welcome. Okay, did I miss any other, did anyone else have a request for a card or a question? Alice, I try to put my feet in the grass every day now. Yeah, it's really nice, isn't it? And it feels different daily. Is it a moist grass? Is it dry? Are the blades stiff that day? Are they soft under your feet? Yeah. Carter Moser Group, may I have a general card, please? Yes, yes, and yes. And I'm going to have a sip of water. Carabo, you're welcome. I hope I'm saying your name right. Okay. General card for Carter Moser Group. So before I pull that card, let me just say, because I think there were some people who joined after the weekly reading. So let me just recap. The beginning of the week, surrender to miracles, which is basically just saying be open to any possibility that may be coming your way, and try not to control it. Be open to it, because the middle of the week, surrender to your attachment to results. So as this thing comes in, don't control how it needs to be. Let it go. Let it move around. This is what needs to happen this week. And then when you accept the situation, this is surrender denial. When you accept the situation or the person or the experience exactly the way it is, accept it as it is, you will have the clarity you need. Because of course, if you put it through your filter, then it's no longer clear. But if you get the clarity you need, you can do whatever it is you're meant to do with it. And then you can be still with it and really process and move from that place. So those are the general messages, right? Okay, Carter Moser Group, let's have a general card. Let me just make sure I have the card deck up right. And I am using Gilded Tarot Royale. Okay. Ah, you're welcome. Okay, general card, the card emotion group. Okay, general card. And it is 7 of Pentacles. Lovely. 7 of Pentacles. So 7. Pentacles is our home, health, money, and work. You got that, YouTube? There you go. Home, health, money, and work. So what's 7 of Pentacles? So 7 is related to the Chariot. Chariot is our movement. Chariot is about things moving forward, which really is this message of this week also, right? But the 7 of Pentacles is saying, not yet. What the 7 of Pentacles is saying is, you have put the seeds out, you have done the work, you have planted the seeds, you have been nurturing what it is that you want to be bringing about, you've been working towards something, but it's not quite time to reap that harvest. Okay? It needs more time. It needs more nurturing. It needs more attention. It needs more watering. But it is, you can see the pentacles on the tree. So it is happening. It is in process, right? But it just needs a little bit more time. The other thing about the Chariot, you know, the Chariot is about part of this time that it needs for things to move, is it is about getting things in alignment. So pay attention to anything that may seem out of wonky, maybe a little bit wonky. Pay attention to that and continue to nurture so that you can get things aligned so that then we're ready to go. Okay. But it is happening. It is in process. Just needs some time. Okay. Did anyone else have a question, or would anyone else like a card, or are we done? So as a reminder, I do have a newsletter that comes out twice a month. So you can subscribe to my newsletter, Drops of Goodness. Hi, Rising Vibes. Welcome. The link is down below in YouTube, or it is in my bio on Instagram. And I will be coming out with the February newsletter soon. I will have a link in there to a conversation about Mercury retrograde. So if you would like to get that, subscribe to my newsletter. If you also would help by liking, commenting, sharing my videos, I would appreciate that very much. It helps grow this community. It helps other people be exposed to what it is that I do, and just share our messages. And this is a wonderful group. I appreciate everyone who shows up here every week. We have new people, and then we have some people who come every week. And so I appreciate your support enormously. I love interacting with you. This is a highlight of my Sundays. I love coming in and opening my mind to what card decks need to come to the table today, so I can deliver messages to all of you. It's an honor, really. And thank you. And I appreciate your trust in asking and sharing your questions. So thank you for all of that. I do have a contribute button on my profiles, and in my link, there is a contribute button. So if you feel led to contribute anything toward any of these readings in support of me, I welcome that, and I appreciate it very much. So if anyone else had a question or a card, please put it up there, request for a card. Otherwise, we are closing out Sunday Synergy. You can always watch the replay if you want to repeat the cards for this week, and take a look at what other cards came out. Really good stuff. Flourish, Oxygen Mask, Vision Board, 7 of Pentacles, Nature, and Blend into the Environment. Really nice messages. All right, off we go. I'm going to go walk my puppies. Uh-oh, hold on here. Are you still taking questions? Will this trip to Sedona go well and safe? Kathy, Thanks for all you do. You are welcome, my friend. Okay, so we have a couple of last minute things. I will pull these last two cards for Jenna M and Rising Vibes. So those will be the last two. So Jenna M, what will happen in my connection with Caleb? I'm a Virgo, he's a Libra. Carter Mosier Group says, thank you to all for sharing your energy. Yes, it is a combined energy for sure. It's nice. Okay, Jenna, what will happen in my connection with Caleb this 2021? So I'll tell you, first of all, Jenna, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't have that foresight. I don't fortune tell, but I can give you some guidance on what you can do to make happen what it is you want to happen in your connection with Caleb. Right? Oh, you are just fine. Don't you worry. Whether you're new or not, do not worry. I put these messages out and I repeat that all the time, Jenna, just so you know. I remind people that you have what you need to do what you want, right? I just help bring some information to you. So let's get some information on Jenna and Caleb. Information for Jenna and Caleb. Okay. And you're both air signs. So Jenna and Caleb. Adventures. Adventures. Here you go, Instagram. Great card, adventures. So there's a little water coming down here. And birds and flowers and there's birds flying. Do you see how they're flying here in alignment? So I would say, maybe redefine. I'm going back to the messages for this week. Surrender to miracles. At a castle on water. Yeah, and what I would say is, with your adventures and your relationship with Caleb, be open to what they may look like going forward. They may not be the same castle on a water. They may look a little bit different. You may redefine what you consider to be an adventure. So be open to what you might do together. Be open to where you might be headed. Be open to it and surrender your attachment to results. So let things be in their natural state and you not impose expectations upon it. And then you'll see everything for what they are, everything for what it is, I should say. So take your adventures, plan your adventures. The birds are flying together, which is to say you're in alignment in this movement. The water, you talked about a trip that you took with water. This also may be talking about maybe adventuring into some emotional work. So is it time for your relationship to maybe take another step or evolve a little bit more, or have a conversation about something that maybe requires a little deep diving, right? Do that, and the birds flying together is suggesting that you would be able to do that together. Yes. Okay. Then Rising Vibes had a question. I know YouTube doesn't always send out notifications, the little buggers. Okay, let me see. Rising Vibes, you had a question. Will this trip to Sedona go well? You're welcome, Jenna. Thanks for coming, and subscribe so you get the next one. Okay, so rising vibes, your trip to Sedona. Let's see. I'm going to go with, Oracle of the Fairies, just because of the energy in Sedona. And again, as I was saying to Jenna, I can't tell you if your trip is going to go well, right? And I know when you ask questions, we ask questions in that way. I know that. I just like to come back around and say, I, of course, cannot dictate that for you, but I can give you information about your trip. Oh, good, fairies. Yeah, this is a lovely card, a lovely deck. Welcome, Laurie. Thank you. I moved my room around. Thank you for noticing. Okay, let's get a card for Rising Vibes and her trip to Sedona. Right here. Rising Vibes, you've got 2. Nature's signs and temptation. So, nature's signs. Be receptive to the subtle messages from nature as you go about your day. Nature talks to us continually. We only need to open our hearts and minds. And of course, if you are in Sedona, there are all kinds of messages being sent all of the time. I don't know if you've all been to Sedona, but man, oh man, that is a magical place. So pay attention while you're there. Pay attention to what is coming to you. And the next card, temptation. Are you in denial about an unhealthy habit? Perhaps one that makes you feel guilty. This fairy says you have the power to overcome temptation, whatever its guise. So here are the cards. Now this card deck has a lot of gloss on it, so I'm going to try to get you a good view. Here you go, Instagram. So Rising Vibes, in terms of your trip going to Sedona and it going well, what I would say is the temptation card is coming up. If you're having a question about whether or not this trip is going to go well for you, my guess is that somewhere up here, there's a little work going on that is maybe doubting. You've got something running around that would even cause you to think about that question. So avoid the temptation that is looping you into that thought process. Ixnay on the process A, however you say that. And instead, go to Sedona and pay attention to the signs that are coming for you. There's something there for you to learn. There's something there for you to experience and see. So go there, be open to it, and it goes right back to all of the messages for the week. Surrender to the miracles, surrender your attachment to results, surrender denial so you can see clarity, and surrender to silence. Enjoy. But move out of this temptation that gets you wondering if it's going to go well. You need to be there for something. Okay, so those were our last 2 questions. That's all I'm going to take for today. As always, if you would like to book your own private reading, you can do that. You can do that through the links in my bio and down below. Be in touch if you want to subscribe to my newsletter. We would love to have you. You'll get the February edition coming out. And I appreciate all of your support, and always ask if you would like, share, comment, any of those things. And I hope to see you all next Sunday. Remember to check in. You are very welcome. Remember to check in on my YouTube channel, subscribe to my YouTube so that when I post the periodic card readings, your energetic boosts, you'll get those. And follow me on Instagram or wherever we see each other next. So wishing you all a wonderful entry into February. Imbolc is tomorrow for Northern Hemisphere. So this is when we are coming back to this is when we start to see those signs of life again, right? The very early signs of spring. So very nice, nice celebration. Okay, everyone, big love. Take good care, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Bye.